Good morning to all. 6th standard, chapter 16, garbage in, garbage out. The previous class we studied about vermicomposting. What is the vermicomposting? Vermicomposting is the method of preparing compost using red worms. This method can be used for decomposing vegetables and fruits waste, coffee and tea remains, weeds, etc. Okay. It's an excellent manure and better than expensive fertilizer. It can be used safely to provide nutrients to plants in gardens and field. Okay. Today we studied about think and throw. Today we studied about think and throw. Recycling. You see the picture. Recycling is a reusing waste material that are discarded. Okay. We generate a huge amount of garbage in our daily life. We can reduce this by using a bit of wisdom. Many objects that we throw away can either be reused or recycled to make useful product. For example, old newspaper, notebooks or any other paper can be recycled to make paper mat. Rag pickers separate useful material from the garbage. Kabadiwalas buy old newspapers and notebooks, glass, plastics and metals object for recycling, but there are many things which cannot be recycled or reused. So recycling is reusing waste materials that are discarded. Recycling reduces waste of product and pollutions. Okay, then we goes to recycling of paper. We should always write on both sides of paper sheet. Unused page from old notebooks can be torn off and made into a new notebook for doing rough work and other miscellaneous work. We can also reuse envelopes and covers by using stickers to write new addresses. We can also make fresh paper from old newspaper. Okay, today how the paper recycling. Recycling paper on a small scale is a relatively easy process. It is relatively easy one. All we needed to do is tear up the paper in small pieces in a bucket and pour water in it. Let it rest for a day and pound it to make a thick paste out of it. Spread this evenly over a wire mesh to allow the water to drain. Water peel this layered paste and then allow it to dry in the sun. Paper is ready. In this way the paper is recycled. Okay, the paper is this method recycling of paper. Okay, next we goes to plastics. Plastic is a boon or a curse. Plastic is a boon or a curse. We must recycle paper to get useful product to save trees. Okay, then plastics. Plastic was thought to be a boon, but it turned out to be a curse. Okay, plastic can be very harmful as it produces harmful gases when it burned. The waste problem is the major cause, mainly because they degrade slowly. They are difficult to recycle because of the great variety of plastics which are hardly distinguished. The plastic problem is mounting day by day. A huge amount of plastic is thrown away carelessly on the street and in water bodies, and such irresponsible disposal of a plastic can cause a number of problems. Animals and birds are like in search of food, end up consuming some amounts of plastic, due to which many of them end up choking on this. Although plastic bags seem convenient to store food items, consuming these are very harmful to our health. It is very harmful to our health. It gets worse when dirty and thrown away plastic bags are reused upon dusting and washing them, which is also very harmful. Upon burning or heating, plastic give rise to toxic and dangerous fumes and gases, which can potentially cause cancer in humans. So, careless disposal of plastic on roads also ends up choking the sewer and drainage system. Okay, then 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle. We should we should use 3 R's for checking the increase of the waste matter. The first R means reduce. The meaning of the second R is reuse, and the meaning of 3 R's is recycling. We think in maximum which are biodegradable. We must follow 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle, to avoid problem of waste accumulation. Reducing the use of plastic and reusing harmful plastic to help reduce its overproduction, recycling paper and such articles whenever possible. Carrying jute and cloth bags when carrying out errands to avoid the use of polythene bags. Properly disposing plastic and polythene bags. Not using plastic product and bags to store edibles. Never burning plastic or dry leaves, etc., and disposing them properly. Using registers and notebooks made of recycled paper as much as possible. Avoid putting waste material in polythene bags and throwing them on the street. Adopting practices like recycling paper and vermicomposting to make the best use of biodegradable waste. This is not only helps to reduce the waste that we produce, but also becomes a valuable addition to soil and help in the nourishment of crops and plants. Okay, nourishment of crops and bags. In this lesson we studied about in this chapter we studied about how can we minimize the use of plastics, how can we reduce garbage and deal with a responsibles, etc. Okay, students all are studied read the lesson. Next session we will meet the question answer. Okay, thank you. Daddy.